Welcome back to part 2 of this supersized episode on lovely Williamsburg, Virginia. In part 1, I covered lots of great stuff, so be sure to catch up so you'll get a well-rounded scope of the town and region, because Williamsburg is home to some wonderful sights, history, and activities for all interests and ages, as well as world-class food. In this episode, we pick up where I left off, so we'll begin with outdoor adventure. I'm about to do this fantastic ropes course in this beautiful canopy. It's called Go Ape, and what's interesting about it and unique, something I've never done, it's a self-guided ropes course. So they show you how to do it on a beginner's course or a little training course, and then you're on the go on your own. There are 5 courses here in the forest, a wide variety of Indiana Jones kind of bridges, zip lines, and swings. So let's have at it. I will be walking across the Indiana Jones bridge. I'm gonna run because I'm crazy. Da, 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 da. Climb up the zip line, bye bye. I gotta get across that. Let's do it. Let's not land backwards. We're gonna do the bike thing. Go Ape is a great experience while also getting to spend time in the beautiful lush forest. Clean air and adrenaline pumping fun all in one. Okay, so let's get back to some history, shall we? As you may or may not know, Yorktown, just outside of Williamsburg, was the site where the British finally surrendered and the Revolutionary War was won. The American Revolution Museum is the place to learn all about it at the very site where it all came down. The museum offers interactive exhibits and live interpreters to showcase how life was for those in colonial times, as well as how life would have been for the soldiers.
Shoulder, fire lock. This is the ready position. This is a visual cue to the commander and everyone down the line that they're all now loaded and ready to fire. It's at this point he's going to give the last 3 commands, which are make ready, aim, fire!
Well, this is an ale bread.
Hi, Greg.
Yeah. And if you would draw a pint and a half of sweet brown ale, put like a tablespoon of sugar in it, put it near the fire, and it will activate it because there's still active yeast in it.
So this is our food safe, which is a safekeeping place for cooked food. There's not really much of a modern equivalent.
The museum has wonderful exhibits, from great films to in-depth installations and stories that span the history of the birth of our nation, all the way through the war. And visitors even get to try some hands-on laboring in the interpreter village to get a small sense of what a day in the life of a colonist may have been like.
Just a dull wooden knife and knock away the broken pieces.
I especially loved the working garden, to see the types of crops they grew, as well as how and why they grew what they did. Gretchen said that this is called soapwort, and it was kind of an old-timey soap that you could use just by wetting it. And I'm gonna stick the stems here. And it kind of eventually lathers up into like a green suds, and they would use it to wash their face. And you said kind of helped acne too, huh?
Yeah, that's a big claim.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, like it gets green. Oh yeah, see, like it suds up. Can you see the bubbles? Pretty smart. Look at that, natural soap. Got you. Got you, Dean.
Not an easy. It's like eating crab. It's hard to get.
So
but
sweet.
I like it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too.
All that history works up an appetite, so it was back to Williamsburg for a bite at Amber Ox Public House. And man, does this place impress. Their food and beverage program really pushes the envelope and creates innovative dishes and drinks. For a plant-based gal like me, I was genuinely impressed with what the chef brought out for me and highly recommend all sorts of diners make it a point to dine here. Brunch to dinner, they're sure to please. The chef at Amber Ox has his hands full with several food concepts in town, and another one of the places he's involved with is Precarious Beer Hall, a family-friendly beer hall with arcade games, fun seating setups, and even an indoor taco truck. Well, behind me you see a bar, and I am in the Precarious bar. There are a few things I love about it. It's such a cool vibe in here. There's kind of a food truck container parked within the bar. It's like a taco truck. It's family friendly. There's a game room. What I think is super neat is it's literally steps away from the colonial part of town. So to think that George Washington was hanging out here, walking these streets, and now it's this like super cool vibe beer hall, it's pretty rad. Grab a beer and chuck some axes like our famous forefather did. Okay, maybe he wasn't throwing axes for fun, but it sure is fun to think about a boozed up Washington trying to hit targets with an axe. You can't visit Williamsburg without being totally entranced by the beautiful buildings, landscapes, and homes, many of which survived both wars, and if their walls could talk, wow, the stories they could tell. One local man with a great story to tell is the proprietor of Silverhand Meadery. A former touring rock band member turned mead maker, I have to say, because of him, I'm now a mead convert.
So we'll take honey, we'll add water to it, and we'll blend those things together. You'll end up with this very sweet liquid in the end.
Ready, Freddy. I was surprised to learn about the history of mead, and also how incredibly varied it can be. Each was so tasty and full of flavor. I couldn't decide which one to bring home, so I grabbed all of them.
All these bees left yesterday, and they came back.
Wow.
Yeah, they swarmed yesterday. They landed on a tree over there, and with it. So this is an exciting area of tanks. So it's almost all tanks right back here in this whole corner. This is where we do all our fermentation. So we go into these tanks first, blending the honey, water, and the yeast.
Silverhand Meadery does such a great job with their mead flights and tastings, and even if you can't make it there, you can order their delicious libations online. Williamsburg does such a wonderful job of honoring the history while mildly incorporating our modern world, and I would imagine a lot of it has to do with the foresty lands as it houses so many beautiful areas and would be ruined by giant modern structures. It almost feels like they've kept it as close to what it was hundreds of years ago, and enjoying the outdoors is a big part of what locals love about the region. As you can see, I am out on the river, and I am about to do a paddleboard yoga class at sunset, and apparently it goes beyond just paddleboard yoga. Apparently the teacher brings singing bowls and there's meditation, and right now the weather is just perfect. The water's calm, you hear the birds chirping. It's absolutely beautiful. A really lovely day to do paddleboard yoga.
Inhale, lengthen, lift, gaze goes up towards the sky. Bend the knees deeply, and then straighten the legs.
Well, it's time for me to leave Williamsburg, but I hope you'll join me again on the next Healthy Voyager. Bye.